Top of the morning to YouTube. It is your buttery voiced host, HefTV, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm hungry. And tonight I'm going to show you guys how to cook a delicious meal in not a whole lot of time. And it's going to be spicy. First, intro. Guys, and tonight we have a little bit of a cooking video for you. What we're going to make is some spicy ramen noodles with some kalbi marinated steak tips. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get yourself one of these, which was graciously donated by Sweet Lou. Special shout out to you, Sweet Lou. And then what you're going to want to do is get yourself some bottom sirloin steak tips marinated in Asian kalbi sauce. So first thing you're going to want to do is cut up your steak tips into strips. Okay, so what you're going to want to do first, guys, is take your steak tips, open them, yourself a nice knife, lay them out. Okay, so as you can see here, we have about 8 nice pieces. I can't get over any further on the camera, but trust me, there are 8 there. So now that we have the steak tips here, guys, what the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut them all into little strips going against the grain to make sure that it stays super tender. And if you're lucky and have yourself a good knife, this shouldn't take long at all. Cutting them into little 1/4-inch strips there. They cook up quicker, and it frees you up time to do other things. Okay, now that we have all the steak tips prepared, we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so now that you have all your steak tips cut up, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get yourself a frying pan or a cast iron skillet if you have the time. Cast iron skillet is preferred, but for time purposes tonight, we're going to use a regular old frying pan, and that'll work just in case anybody out there doesn't have a cast iron skillet, which you should probably get. They're pretty cheap, and they pay for themselves almost instantaneously. So if you guys don't have one, go pick them up. And what you're going to want to do is set your oven, your burner, your top burner, to about a medium-high heat, like we're about to do so right here. Alright, so we're going to keep that just a little bit below 6, and we have our frying pan ready, and our steak tips over here, and now we play the waiting game for a couple minutes. So now's about probably a good time to have yourself a sip on whatever adult beverage you have nearby you. Refreshing. And now on with the food. Okay, guys, it's been a few minutes, and now that you should have a good heat going on your frying pan, you're going to take your pre-cut steak tips like so, and you're going to add them onto the heat source. Okay, guys, you're probably also going to want to turn on your exhaust fan at least on low. Not just to annoy you people with the audio quality, but it's also going to get rid of a lot of the exigent smoke that's going to be put off by this. So let's flip this around and see what this looks like. Alright, so here we go. Oh, this smells really good so far. And we're going to give these guys a quick turn in just a second here. So we have our handy dandy spatula, and now we're going to take this and use this on this. Let's give these guys a little turn here. And now we're going to keep doing that for the next couple minutes until they're all not pink on the inside. Shouldn't take too long. We'll cut right back to you. Okay, so it's been another couple minutes, and your steak tips should be looking about like this right now. A little bit of pink on the inside, not a whole heck of a lot. And you're probably wondering, what is the next step? Well, I'm glad you asked, because the next step is going to be the spicy part. This is where the ramen fun comes in. Okay, so now that these are done, we're going to remove the steak tips from the heat source as to not overcook them. Still got a little, remember the residual heat is going to still cook them a little bit, so if they're a little pink on the inside, that's not bad, you just don't want them raw. So now, you're going to take your ramen noodles and you're going to open, again, your generously donated package here. And there's going to be one for me and one for Tui. Say hi, Tui.
Hi, Tui.
Like clockwork. Now the cooking instructions on each one of these reads as follows: 600 milliliters boiling water and cook for 5 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're just going to fill up a couple of pots a little bit over what the noodles are with water, and we're going to put it on boil. Another helpful hint, guys, is do your dishes as you go. You're going to make your life a hell of a lot easier. In between doing stuff, do your dishes as you go. You won't make anybody else's life more difficult, and you'll make your own easier in the process. So again, let's get back to exactly what makes up the ramens. Okay guys, so here you have the ramen noodle pack, which consists of a couple different things. If you open it, you will see and if you're in prison, guys, save this package. It's going to come in super handy. But you probably know that already. So, you got a few things. You got the noodles. You have the dry season packet here, and you have the wet stuff, as I like to call it. Now, these two things are going to spice the shit out of your noodles. The noodles are just your ordinary ramen noodles, like you see here, but the spice is where it's at, and we're going to try to get some love on this tonight. So we're going to fill up the pots with some water, and the next time you see this, the noodles will be boiling in each respective pot. Okay everybody, now that we have the water at a sufficient temperature, big bubbles equal boiling, small bubbles equal simmering. So now that we got some big bubbles going on, we're going to add the ramen to the boiling water. 1, 2. We're going to let these guys sit for about 5 minutes, and we're going to stir kind of intermittently, but not much, just enough to break the noodles up. So we'll catch back to you after that. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes, and now it is time to drain the noodles from the water and start the seasoning process and the plating process. Okay, so we've got our noodles drained and our steak tips awaiting. And now for the fun part, the seasoning. Okay, and from here, what you're going to want to do, take your fork and give it a good mix. Get that seasoning all up in there. And we'll get this one too. Alright, so now you have everything ready. You have your noodles with the spice, you got your steak tips, and now all you got to do is plate it. And let's see what this looks like. And there you go, guys. Some delicious Calbee marinated steak tips on spicy ass ramen noodles. And if you want, you can take the leftover juice, just kind of a little bit on there. Little bit on there. Almost looks good enough to eat, doesn't it? Look at that. Look at that. Okay, guys, so I hope you liked this edition of HefTV Cooking. Hope you guys learned a little bit of something. Hopefully you guys can get out and get to enjoy this little bit of delicious dishness. I know it's tough with, the whole situation going on with everything, but little quick and easy recipe. If you're not filming, it takes not a whole lot of time to do. So it's a viable option for people that want a nice quick meal. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, always appreciated but never necessary, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. You guys have been a lot more vocal in the comment section, which I love. I love discussing stuff with you guys. I do my best to answer every single comment. I appreciate you guys, and until next time, stay in there, and by staying there, you're doing good things for somebody. When this world gets back together, go out there and do good things, because no one else is going to. If everybody did one good thing for somebody else each day, this world would not be such a bad place. I want to thank Tui. I want to thank you guys for your time. Until next time, we'll see you guys on HefTV. How'd I do?
Very good.
All right, cool.